All right. Here we are, boys and girls of America, friends, family, countrymen, back again. Yet another week, Chris is very excited. He has drinking lots of Starbucks before today's episode. What'd you have in your cup?
We talked about this a little while back. What I like to have in my cup is, it's a tall cup.
Is it small? Is that what that means? Starbucks small.
Yeah,
okay.
Small equals tall. Tall equals small.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you, Starbucks.
Tall, small. And it is a latte.
A latte.
And it has a latte heavy cream in it.
So, a latte heavy cream.
Yeah.
In your latte. Heavy cream.
Heavy cream.
So you were kind of carbo loading or fat loading before the episode.
Loads of fat.
Not just black coffee. You're not just a black coffee guy.
No, I've tried.
Yeah.
Didn't stick.
And then you had heavy cream one day.
It did have heavy cream. Yeah.
And then it was like, what is this delight?
It's hard to keep a black coffee.
Do you have heavy cream by itself in the fridge at home?
We do.
Is there a certain brand you like?
Borden, maybe. I've seen Borden, but I can't tell you for sure. I think we change it out depending on the grocery store.
What's the fanciest? Is it Fairlife? Is
Fairlife.
That like the fancy?
We do have Fairlife milk,
brand?
but
okay.
I wouldn't consider us fancy
maybe
people.
Fairlife as a sponsor someday on here. Is that what we're saying?
Fairlife, we're inviting you to sponsor our coffee addiction.
We figured fat loading was a good segue today.
Why do you say that, Mike?
Well, because, Chris, it's funny you ask. We are talking today about physical health, taking care of our bodies.
Hey,
some food and nutrition. Things.
Good episode. I'll see you later. All right. Slam the door on the way out.
Things that guys love to talk about and get better at. And women too. Physical health. Yeah, habits, eating, taking care of our bodies for the Lord. A topic that I think sometimes is glossed over, maybe?
Glossed over, ignored. Maybe just not our favorite subject because it hits us on such a personal level.
Is that what you think it is? I do feel like we talk about reading the Bible, praying, sharing the gospel, discipleship, kind of all the things.
Yeah.
But then someone's like, well, how are you taking care of yourself physically? We're like, ooh, hey, I don't want to talk about that.
No, that's kind of it's a little bit rude, right? I mean, you're asking me how do I feel about my body? How do I feel about what I'm putting in it? Well, I think we don't tend to enter into those conversations too easily.
No. So naturally, that means we want to talk about that here on the podcast. Make everyone feel nice, extra comfortable, especially both of us.
Yeah, discomfort is our specialty, or at least it's becoming.
Yes.
So
who doesn't want to not eat a bacon, peanut butter, cheeseburger today? Oh, wait, that wasn't me. That was you. Ha ha!
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yep. How's it feel? Was I allowed to say that? Was I not supposed to say that?
Well, it's out there already, so might as well talk about it. So the burger of choice today did have cheese.
You're slowing down. Is it hitting you right now? Is that burger processing through your body?
I had the fat-loaded coffee to keep it going, but it was a substantial burger patty with some cheese.
Yeah. Sounds delicious.
With some candied bacon, which would be a completely good meal in itself, right?
This is not making me want to eat healthier right now the more you describe this.
They put peanut butter and jelly on it.
Oh, man. Which I will say probably for the average person probably sounds gross. However, I can attest to this too. There's a burger place called Son of a Butcher, like a butcher, cutting the meat. That has a PB&J burger.
Walking the tightrope there.
It is delicious, people, if you've never tried it. Would you attest to that today?
I would say that it is. I didn't have the son of a butcher.
Son of a butcher.
I didn't have that particular burger or slider because I think they specialize in sliders.
Yep.
Son of a butcher. If you ever decide that you want to sponsor our show.
Yes. We got your name right.
And sliders. So your product. We got that right.
So it was good. It was delicious.
This was from the Lazy Dog.
Oh.
And I know we talked about, not being lazy and childish last week, but the Lazy Dog.
Is that why you went to the Lazy Dog right after?
There was some talk prior to this burger choice about a peanut butter and jelly burger. And so it was fresh on the mind, talking with a good friend of mine. And you know what? It was there on the menu and it was lunch. And I decided I was going in. I was all in. There's no hesitation.
Did you have a productive afternoon after eating a burger like that?
Fortunately, yes, but I think I'm mentally prepared for it.
Oh, okay.
Knowing.
Yeah.
And so there wasn't any nappy nap or any kind of, slowing down or
when you take a nap, do you normally call it a nappy nap?
I call it
is that
with my blankie. And, that's just me being childish still.
Well, the health is going downhill. Let's get back on the right track.
How can we get back on the right track?
And let's get back to the topic at hand.
Matt Foley is a great model of,
Yeah, Matt Foley for...
Let's model after him.
Don't Google Matt Foley for the example of the epitome of health. That's not what we're going for. Sorry.
Great life coach, but...
So, okay, let me put you on the spot. Why do we want to take care of our bodies? Like, why does this actually matter? Why is this important? Or what's your opinion on that?
I think we want to take care of our bodies because we want to, from a personal standpoint, we want to feel as best as we can.
Yeah.
From a relative standpoint, we want to be around for our relatives. We want to be able to take care of ourselves and make sure that we're there. And I think as men, we feel like our best protection over our families is if we are here and present. And so there's motivation there.
So longevity of life and feeling good, because we're going to be honest, when you down that bag of Doritos, at the end of the day, or you have your peanut butter burger, you're not physically. No one's walking away going, I feel great for the next 2 or 3 hours.
Decision, and I feel good, and my metabolism is going to have no problem processing this, and I'm going to have tons of energy from it.
You need a nappy nap after that, basically. Yeah. So to feel good, longevity, kind of maybe a consideration of others. Maybe out of some desire for people, like look good. Look good at the pool.
That doesn't matter so much for me now.
Yeah,
as I'm
you've given up on that.
As I'm hugging the AARP line, but I could see how for some other people in their 40s, that's that might be.
Good or bad motivations. Obviously, I'm just trying to think through what are different reasons people would want to do it. I guess obviously health, feeling good,
looking good,
maybe looking good, things like that. So. I was thinking about this topic, and I always get impressed on how much we talk about all these other spiritual disciplines, these things we should do as men or women on growing in godliness, taking a next step. That's the whole point of all this is like, what's our next step of obedience? How can we move forward with something? But then the topic of food or physical health is always at the bottom of the list. Yet it has like huge consequences. And I'm a great example on this. I've had seasons of like really good health, really good striving to eat good and exercise. And then other seasons where honestly, I tend to be an all in or nothing kind of a guy. So if I start eating, a terrible burger after terrible burger or like a bowl of bacon, naturally, like as one does, then I just kind of throw in the towel and I just start eating everything.
Yeah. So if you have a bad breakfast, or if you have a breakfast where
it sets my day in a bad direction.
Can you just stop okay, so you can't get to lunch and say, all right, I'm going to have a salad now that I've had this.
Sometimes if I'm having a stronger, healthier day, I can turn the corner.
Okay. It's a hard turn though.
But more often than not, it's like a snowball effect. I'll want to eat bad. I won't want to work out. And then like a day turns into a couple days, turns into a week. And then just before you know it, you just feel terrible. Like I've struggled with more mental health issues when my physical health is declining. I'm not going to want to play with the kids as much. I don't feel as mentally sharp. Kind of get that fog brain, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah. So you're like, I'm feeling that right now from the burger and
just a little bit.
The latte. No, so then on the flip side, which is, I guess, shouldn't be surprised by this, sorry for my nose there, that was a little loud. When I eat good, then exercise and drink water, do these basic principles the way God's designed it, what do you know? I'm mentally a little bit more sharp and have more natural energy, and I tend to think clearer.
Yeah,
if that
so
makes sense.
you know the formula there. You're going to feel a lot better if you make those decisions, and that all adds up into even better decisions. It sounds like. So what throws you off?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know.
Please tell me, because I don't think I know the answer here. I just had a peanut butter and jelly on my burger, Mike. I'm asking for help.
So I know. Okay, I know some biblical. Let's talk about a little bit of a biblical answer, and then I'll give you at least my opinion, kind of my take on what's worked, because I think everyone's going to have a slightly different, maybe practical answer on that. So 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20 talks about, it's talking about sexual immorality and things like that. I do think this can also apply to our bodies physically. So it says, do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own, for you were bought with a price, so glorify God in your body. Putting a pretty strong emphasis on our body being a temple of the Holy Spirit that can live within us, right? And then we're not our own because of what Jesus has done for us. He's paid the price. It says you were bought with a price. He's paid the price of our sins. So glorify God in your body. So again, a lot of that is about sexual immorality. I think we can talk about that in another episode, but there is a strong emphasis on the Lord going, okay, hey, I designed you. I created you. I know how your body works. Like, I'm the creator of it. So glorify me through your body. And then obviously there are consequences, whether they're good or bad. There are spiritually and good, physical, healthy consequences from that. Likewise, you can bet if you don't glorify God with your body, well, then here we go on everything else, right?
Yeah.
And so, other scripture too, what is it? 1 Corinthians, what's that verse?
Yeah, so 1 Corinthians 10:31. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God.
Yeah. So even right there, basic fundamentals. Whether you eat, drink, honestly, whatever you do.
Yeah.
It's
the whatever you do, because that really does eliminate any wiggle room, right?
Yeah,
so,
I don't know what passes the test of not making that list. I think everything's there. So everyone has a different personality. I know when I start getting off track, it is, if I had to be gut level honest, which, I want to be vulnerable here. Feels really,
I want to let you.
Well, it feels weird to say it, but it's because I want to do what I want, when I want, how I want. So I want to eat what I want, when I want, how I want it, whatever time of day, even middle of the night. Or I'm sure there's some flesh side of me that goes, I deserve it, or I've worked hard. This tastes good. Why should I have to limit myself?
Right.
Why are there limitations as I get older? There's things I can't eat like I could eat maybe 20 years ago.
Why do I need a bowl, and why not just the carton of ice cream?
Yeah. Or like a strip of bacon versus maybe a bowl of bacon. Yeah. So whatever. Well, so it has to come down to my motivation. It's got to be that. It's got to be I frankly just want to do what I want to do. I want to be in control. I think that would be an idol. I want to be, essentially, I would be God in that example, right? Life is for me. The food is for me. The pleasure and enjoyment is for me. It has to stem from that motivation.
Well, in that saying, you know what's best for you, whether you're making the better decisions or not.
Yeah.
You're saying, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to have.
Yeah.
And there really is no place for reason.
I guess. Yeah. I think it just goes out the window, right? You just push God out the window, and it's like, I think there's something in there that thinks I deserve it because I know what's healthy. We know what's healthy.
Sure.
Like the different programs out there, we know what we need to do. We know the vitamins and minerals we need. We know the veggies we need to eat.
We know we need some water.
We know we need to drink a little bit of water, maybe quite a bit.
Not just
not heavy cream. We really know. But why is it hard for you, for example? Not just because of today. I know today you went terribly off the rails.
I went completely off the rails.
Yeah,
but I think just like you prepare for a part, you have your SAG card, so you know what it's to act and prepare and to get ready.
Yeah, Screen Actors Guild card for those of you who are wondering what a SAG card is.
Yeah, not an AARP card. It's a SAG card. It's for people who still want to look good. So anyway, it was full preparation for this conversation. I had to fill it. I had to really get into the role.
So why do you either go off the rails at times, or what's your motive? Is it same motivation?
I think it's the same motivation.
Okay.
It's I deserve it. There's other things that stem from it too. I would say, and you and I talked about this a little bit earlier, that some of my better memories from when I was younger, in my extended family, we didn't argue about food. Food was plentiful. Food was what drew us together when we were together. And so some of my better memories go back toward getting together around food. And so also just carrying that on through playing sports and eating a lot and celebrating with teammates. And, it was not really about the quality of food you could eat, but the quantity of food.
It's like a CC's situation.
Like a CC's, like a Ponchos, raise the flag.
Oh, Ponchos. I have not thought of Ponchos in forever. Oh, my gosh. Is Ponchos even around anymore?
I don't know. I haven't followed it.
Did you ever do a CC's competition of how much pizza you could put down?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, you don't want to share that? Okay. Is that a dark place for you?
Yeah, just I promise not to say anything about it.
My brother and I should give his full name and social and date of birth on here. I think we got the 24.
Ooh.
I mean, we are high teens, so you could just put it down and move on.
Your metabolism was working for you.
Which now, looking back, is quite the gluttonous situation that might be a little ashamed about, but...
Yeah,
but you're right. I think there's how many gatherings are around food? Celebrations.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
That's unfair. Now my AARP is going to come in the mouth. So, no celebrations. Man, even tough times. You think funerals?
Yeah. Oh yeah, food.
Weddings, food, baptisms.
Yeah,
food. I mean. Crock-pots.
Hey, La Hacienda across the street has made a lot of money off of 121.
I'm thinking crock-pots. What's the potlucks?
Potlucks.
There it is. That's not. They're not called crock-pots.
There are a lot of crock-pots at
There's
potlucks.
A lot. There we go. There we go. What have you ever done anything crazy at like a Cracker Barrel? I mean, just thinking about this right now.
I had a life group that met at a Cracker Barrel, and I think part of it was just going to Cracker Barrel, and the other part of it was seeing each other. But what I've noticed is that when I go off the rails, it kind of turns into a tour of bad decisions because, hey, if I'm going to have this, then, and especially if I've been depriving myself and on a program and I haven't had something in a while, then, why not go get Wingstop or something like that?
Yeah.
Why not say goodbye to these things again and then get back on the program? So, and I laugh, but it's been enough of a pattern, though.
True, yeah.
And over that time, my weight has seesawed. I've gone up, I've gone down. There's never been a consistent weight that I've been at, and so I'm still searching for the healthiest version of myself from a physical standpoint.
So when you start doing that, does that lend itself into other poor decision makings too, or does it stay strictly with like food and nutrition and?
Let's talk about baby head. Okay, so or nappy nap time.
Okay,
so
I don't know what baby head was. Yeah, I'm curious.
We're going to talk about it. So how a baby's head tends to be disproportionate to the rest of its body and tends to make it fall over.
You're saying this like I know where you're going. I don't know where you're going.
You should know this by now.
Okay, yeah.
But
big baby head
or nappy nap time. After you eat, you don't feel like doing too much, right? You're not at your best. You're not ready to conquer the world. And so that makes it easier to sit and watch the television and, waste some time there. And we talked about, childish things, probably easier to pick up the video game controller there.
Yeah.
So whatever it is for you.
You need to connect this to big baby head for me because I still don't know how you're connecting this to big.
Okay. I'm going to demonstrate. Why don't I just demonstrate? So here it is. I'm a baby.
So Chris so far has raised his arms in the air, and all he has said is, "I'm a baby."
I'm a baby, and my head is. I'm tipping over. Okay, all right, baby head.
And he's fallen over. Okay, so you basically mean when you're so full and stuffed, and you're good for nothing. You're like a baby just sitting there,
like a baby with a big head.
Why did the big head matter? A baby with a small head just sits there. What's the relevance of the big baby head?
It's how your head feels.
Oh. These analogies are okay. So basically, let's just bring it back. Okay, I'm sorry. We went off there. So when you have big baby head syndrome,
big baby head,
that's just when you're right. You're stuff. You don't want to get up. You're lethargic. You're lethargic. It just lends itself to. I mean, you're right. For me, I go. You know what? I already don't feel good. Do I want to work out? No. Do my kids want to go play outside? I don't want to go play outside. You're. I guess it does kind of lend itself to other things. So, okay. So on the flip side, hypothetically, whenever you've done this, and not today, obviously, but maybe tomorrow, when you then eat healthy, does it then go the other way for you?
I think so.
Are we going to call this small baby head?
We're going to call this.
It doesn't matter. But it goes the other way. You start making positive decisions a little bit
easier to keep momentum.
Okay.
If you have a goal out in front of you, it's easier to keep momentum toward it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been challenging me. So I turned 40 this year. Thank you very much. And while I kind of felt a little bit, a little bit like this at first, it's made me motivated to go, okay, how can I be in the best shape of my life around 40? Which I think all of us do that a little bit each decade. Or
I did at 40.
Yeah. Not doing that now, obviously, but when you were 40, you felt that way.
I've always been a slow adopter.
So I found myself freshly motivated, and maybe also just getting older, where I don't want to eat as much junk. I don't want to feel terrible. I don't want to have these negative consequences. I don't always wake up. This is my confession. I don't always wake up going, I want to glorify the Lord with my health. And I want to get better at that, because it's so weird. I feel that way about other things with Jesus, but I just don't go there with my health. So when I think health, I really am trying to strive to go, okay, Jesus, let me glorify you with my healthy choices today. Not just for my body. Because my body's still fleeting, right? It's still going to have issues, still going to fall apart, still going to do whatever.
It's a sin-riddled body, which is, meant for a new one down the road. So,
but I don't always wake up going, Jesus, for you, let me eat healthy today,
I don't either.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're trying to arrive at here is how does that become more front of mind?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think talking about it like this, I think helps. I think getting it to the forefront, it's just not it's just not there. Sometimes it's like you get a group of 20 people, maybe one or two people will off on the side go talk about health, or maybe even hold each other accountable, do something. That's great. But we don't bring it to everyone as a whole all the time. And I think we really are struggling as a people with unhealthy consequences that's affecting other areas of our lives, that some of it can be tied to nutrition and exercise. Like anxiety and other stuff we've talked about, one of the number one natural remedies is exercise. And God's designed our bodies so that when you exercise, there are good consequences that come out of that help our minds and our bodies. So I don't know. Maybe for me, maybe the challenge for me is while I'm trying to consider other spiritual disciplines, I'm just intentionally praying through my actual physical health more often.
And I think that's wise to do. And I believe we should do that.
Yeah.
I also know that there tends to be a gauntlet out there when you decide, okay, I'm going to start eating healthy for just eating's sake. You think about what you're going to have, and then guess what? You get invited to go hang out as a group, and so-and-so is making a dessert and bringing that. And so you have to expect that there are going to be hurdles along the way. That you're going to set your mind and say, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do my best, and then be prepared that there are going to be some obstacles to face. And so if you're not tapped into doing that for the Lord, then
it's not going to stick. It's not going to hold.
It won't stick and it won't hold.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side too, there's also, gathering together can be a really great thing, and sharing a meal with people can be a great thing. I guess it's really up to you to figure out whether or not what you have there with those others, if it's okay.
You know, that's a good word on not obsessing over this, because you're right. The pendulum swing on the other side of this is making the health an actual idol, which is why this is such a interesting topic. I mean, just like anything, it's like we go back and forth. So you're right. We could, me and you right now, and we could also obsess over, let's make sure the nutrition and everything is perfect. So when we have a brownie or we're with friends and we eat this side dish or whatever it is, we just destroy ourselves mentally with this guilt that is never placed on us from Jesus himself, but we just rid ourselves with this guilt and shame, which then ironically sometimes turns into more bad decisions.
And so I know that it's good to have a plan and to look to stay on that plan, and better when there's some accountability in that regard too.
What kind of plans have you come across that have worked good? I mean, obviously, whatever you're doing today is not the right plan.
No, and I'm off the plan just to tell you, I've gone off the reservation there, and it's the Wild West here. Like to bring it back, we'll bring it back. But Optavia, or you might call it Optavia.
Optavia? Is that what it's called, Optavia?
Yeah.
OPT, that's one plan. I don't know if anyone knows about that. That's a popular
Optavia,
plan.
But
Optavia.
Optavia. You say Optavia, I say
I don't know
Optavia.
what it's called, actually.
Okay, we'll just call it the taste.
Are you opting into something? Is that what the plan's about?
Via doing this plan, you should be able to see some results.
You were describing it really well.
Yeah.
So what's the idea behind? There's a million plans out there. So what's the idea behind something like that? Optavia Opt.
Getting momentum going, limited calories, and you're really paying attention to what you're eating.
Okay.
I know that their program, if you're doing it strictly, then you're eating their particular foods. But in this case, you can find some substitutes.
Sure.
And,
so the idea is you're being intentional. You're being intentional. So I think every plan seems to center around that. Like, let's say we're budgeting our money. You have a budget. A budget's not for poor people. It's a way to track the money that God's given you. It's like it's a tool. So a budget for food would be kind of like what you're saying, right? You're tracking calories, but not just any calories. Like, what are the carbs? What are the fat? What are the protein? Which is funny because I feel like even me, sometimes at these moments right here, I'm already tempted to be like, ugh, blah, blah, the fats and the carbs. I don't even care. I just want to eat something. I don't have to think about all that.
Yeah.
But to not think about it means that we're just going to be reactive, which is going to be led by our feelings. And there's a lot Scripture has to say that's going to lead us down a bad path.
Yeah, I mean, you're on a similar program from what I understand. So
yeah. My wife has done. It's Opta. I don't know how to say it now. Opta, whatever. Opta. There we go. Opta. Yep. But I think I found, and I'm doing something similar with some slight adjustments. I mean, for me, I don't know if anyone cares about this. It's low carbs for me. My body changes for carbs, which I do think a lot of people do that. But high protein, good fats, you got to learn, you got to educate yourself a little bit. For me, if I can work out each day around 30 minutes, if I can just do some activity, and it's funny you brought up breakfast. If my day starts off good, I'm kind of off to the races. And then maybe a couple times throughout the day, I want to lean towards unhealth. Maybe cake or bacon. But that is probably because my time with the Lord is starting to wane throughout the day. And so I almost need to recenter. It's helpful for me to have these moments of 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m. It's just helpful for me on the clock to re-engage where my priorities are, and it tends to help. That's for me, though.
No, I like that, though, because you're tapping into a timing thing there to where, we talked about this previously, where I'm having my quiet time. That's just something that is not,
not to knock anyone's quiet time that they're talking about it, but
what about the rest of the day?
Yeah, we talked about if it's 10 or 15 minutes in the morning of quiet time and that's it. That I personally will say is a really cheap amount of time to give to our Lord Jesus, right? I mean, that's to give to anyone, let alone the one who's in control, like the one we're worshiping. If you gave 15 minutes to your wife, or 15 minutes to your daughter, or 15 minutes to a friend, and that was it each day, I mean, I'm not the expert, but
probably not building a great relationship.
No, it can't be. I mean, you gave 15 minutes to a burger today. So what about you? You know, my time has ebbed and flowed over the years. I get in these rhythms. I happen to be in a pretty good rhythm currently. You opposite today, but in general, you're not doing terrible.
Wait a second.
Did you just fall asleep? Did you get a little baby head?
No, but I just want to be honest here, and I feel like there's an opportunity for you as well. That
I don't know what you're about to say.
There were some recent celebrations here, weren't there? Certain officer retiring. I think there was another birthday.
Okay, so I get it. So what my co-host Chris is alluding here to.
Just trying to keep
my wife
up.
may not know this until she listens to this episode. I had a piece of cake yesterday. Yeah, the other day. And I had a small sliver piece of cake today. However, okay.
I'm glad you said small sliver because there's no way to corroborate that. But
okay, well, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just saying I didn't have a peanut butter burger. I didn't have a peanut butter burger today. I feel like that's a lot worse on the calorie dense. Okay, now
is it, Mike? Is it?
This is why people don't talk about food, apparently. Look, it's dividing.
There it is.
It's dividing friends. We can't have that. So what is a good... I mean, this is one conversation of a lot of conversations of physical health.
It is.
A lot of food and nutrition. We're not experts. We're trying to get better, right? We're striving to get better each day.
To get better.
We really are.
Looking to get back on the right track.
Yep. Oh, no, good segue. I'm not even going to play that because that was a good Matt Foley right there. What is a good takeaway, you think, for someone to try to get better at this? Or even for you? Like, I've talked a little bit about me and some of my rhythms. Like, what's a good...
I think just like many things, gluttony is a sin, right?
Yeah.
We're just going to call it what it is.
What is gluttony?
I would say it is eating more than you know you should or overindulging willingly.
Okay. You're choosing to overeat, and you're saying what you should know is, I guess, based on some facts, medical, your body, learning, actually educating yourself. I guess that comes with an assumption. You're a little educated on what you should eat and what's too much. And it's just when you choose to go, you know what? I don't care. Whatever.
That I would say.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think confessing that, I think, here with you and with all of our friends out there, saying that this is a real problem. This is, something that has hampered me for much too long.
Yeah.
And why stay there? And why not move forward? And why not have that accountability there to fall back on?
Yeah.
To help during those times.
Yeah.
So that, I think, is a healthy way to approach it. If there is an issue, speak out about it. Let somebody know.
Mm-hmm.
Get some guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Go to a good friend. And then get on a plan.
Yeah. What's your plan for tomorrow? I'm putting you on the spot. What's your plan for tomorrow?
To stay 15 miles away from Lazy Dog and to get back on the program that I know that's worked, which has helped me lose quite a bit of weight. So,
yeah. No, it's great. I think seriously, I think you've been doing great. I'm joking about the burger and everything today. It's also because I ate cake, so we're in the same boat.
I know you're.
I do think for me,
put up a veneer.
I want to think of glorifying the Lord with health. And I just don't put it there. I put it with my body or taking care of me, and sure, that's godly, but I don't think of it in it says glorify God with your body. And I wonder if maybe that's just a good challenge for like you're saying, for me and you or anyone is, are you actually treating your body with the same intentionality that you want to with how you raise your kids, or how you spend time with the Lord, or what your speech is like, or working hard, or serving your family, or being a good neighbor, or whatever it is, do you view taking care of your body, physically with food and exercise in the same light? And if you don't, are you willing to confess that and pray about that and make some changes to make that a higher priority?
Yeah. I think inviting God into the process too. Yeah. And like you said, with the particular program we talked about, spacing out those meals, but those are opportunities to pray too, right before each of those meals. And so being able to invite God in, let him be part of that change, that's going to be nothing but helpful.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, breaking news. I don't know if you just got this. I got a message actually from another special guest. No. We are having multiple special guests over and over on the way out.
How are they finding out about it?
I don't know. They have my number. So he just left a message on how he wanted to, I think, wrap things up today on a couple tips for our health.
This is a phone call? Or
and what's the message? I'm just going to play the message. He just texted me that he left them on the voicemail. So here we go. Special guest coming in now, and let's listen.
Hey, Michael. This is Mike. I'm coming to the town to, put up my dukes. I heard you talking about, keeping in good health. And, 57 years old, I'm still a specimen of great health. And, I've been working out really hard. I'm fighting a guy who's probably, half my age, but we're going to see. We're going to step in the ring. We're going to see who's the alpha male there. But I've got some tips that I've acquired over the years, and things that I thought could help. I know you're talking about this, and I just want to be a help. Want to be a scholar and an advisor, kind of like Yoda. So the first thing that I like to do is concentrate on a carnivore diet without the years. I had that episode with Evander back in the day. He was a physical specimen. I was a little bit scared, so I had to do everything that I had to do. But a carnivore diet, protein. Just make sure you're watching your amino acids, and just making sure you're focusing in on eating good cuts of meat. Second thing I'd like to say is that focus on being mindful. In the way that I do that is with some smooth jazz. I like to listen to Kenny G. I like to listen to Diana Krall. I just like to make sure that I'm focusing on being present. And the third thing I'd say is just make sure you focus on healing and recovery. The way that I like to do that is go into the sauna. I get in a sauna, and I like to feel the bubbles, of the spa. I like to sit in the spa and feel the bubbles. Sometimes I think to myself, tiny bubbles in my spa. But yeah, those three things I think will help anybody. Will help you. Hopefully, I'll see you when I'm passing through Dallas-Fort Worth. Bye.
Wow. Anytime Mike calls in, Mike Tyson, everyone, and leaves us tips like that. I mean, Mike, we're really grateful. What do you think about that?
I think that's great.
The tiny bubbles?
Keep calling. I mean, if it works for him, he's 57 years old. And
he's looking great.
He's looking great.
Looking great, probably feeling great, getting ready for a little
probably not fight. Eating a peanut butter and jelly burger.
Oh, burn on yourself, my friend. Burn.
Or cake.
On low blow, friend.
Thanks so much for joining us. Please consider rating and reviewing our podcast and hitting subscribe on whichever platform you prefer. Remember to keep moving forward, because we're not quite there.